Alright, welcome to Unit 2. You've completed Unit 1, congratulations. So let's move on. This unit is a novel study, which means we are going to be reading a book and analyzing and understanding how to tackle a long story format. You guys are coming from the short story unit where you're reading very short stories. Now we're diving into something a little more complicated, so we're going to approach it a little bit differently. So the story that we'll be studying is called The Chrysalids, a classic science fiction narrative. And each lesson that you click on when you're online is going to cover a section of the book. So I believe the first lesson that you're involved in right now, it covers chapters 1 to 3. So it's important that you read the chapters before you start working on the lesson itself, because you'll find it very difficult to go through this unit if you're not reading the book and keeping up with the chapters. So the main chunk or chunks of this unit are going to be your reading journal and your essay assignment. And as you progress through the unit, it will be a step-by-step breakdown of coming to the final product, which is your essay. So let's talk about the reading journal and what needs to be included. Let's look at this checklist. So your reading journal for each lesson will include your journal response or your chapter notes, your character chart, your vocabulary builder, and your chapter questions. So from lesson 1 to 5, you'll notice that it's broken up into sections of the book, and the journal is very connected to those sections. Each journal entry is divided up for each lesson, so that you won't have to worry about going back and checking to make sure. Each time you click on a new lesson, there'll be new questions, new vocabulary builder words, and that will make your life a lot easier. I hope so. So let's talk about, well, when I'm looking at my reading journal, what do I write? What are some ideas to include in your reading journal? Well, when you come to your journal response for each lesson, you should think about things like summarizing what you've learned so far in the story. So your journal responses should summarize the story so far. Take note of important events and changes. And describe elements of the story, such as the setting, characterization. And you'll notice, as you go through reading this wonderful book, that this will change and evolve as you go through it. So those are some ideas for what to write for your journal response. When you get to the reflection part of it, you really want to talk about questions that you have, right? Write down any questions you have while you're reading the story. And the great thing about that is, once you've gone through the first journal, your next journal, you'll be able to maybe answer some of the questions you had from previous journals, right? You'll also notice on your journal response sheets that at the very bottom, it says predictions for the next chapter. So that's your opportunity to do some really good thinking and guess what might happen next. And it's really cool because as you read the story, sometimes you might be right, sometimes you might be wrong, and it may surprise you. So that's what you should be doing for your journal response, chapter notes, and your reflection part of your journal. Now let's talk about your vocabulary builder. So, and don't worry, we'll get to character chart in a moment. Vocabulary builder, in each journal that you're required to complete, you'll see a list of words. And your job is to find the definition of those words in the right context and write an example sentence using that word. And the point of this is to get you to expand your vocabulary and think more advanced. There'll also be an opportunity for you to add words that you discover on your own, as well as the words that you need to find definitions for that are already included in the journal. And then finally we have your character chart. So what is the purpose of your character chart? Well, when you open the file, you'll see that there's a few columns there. You write down a character's name as they're introduced in the story. And then you can make notes about the character, their personality traits, their relationship to other characters in the story, and maybe some important details about them that you think will help you write your essay. Because you'll notice that part 3 of each lesson is a slow development of your essay, which will be your assessment for this unit. So it's really important that you do read the chapters, take notes, and think about what you're reading, because it will be valuable to you to complete your assignment. So the purpose of the journal is to keep track of what you're learning and make it easy for you to refer back to it. Maybe halfway through the novel you forget an important theme that you read about previously. Well, if you're taking notes and you're filling out your journal, you're going to be successful in this unit. And once again, if you have any questions, if you're confused about anything, feel free to message me on the discussion board, or you can email me as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So good luck, and let's really do a great job on this new lesson.